Hi, I'm Michael DiSpezio and welcome to Mr. D's class. In this class, we're going to take a look at balancing equations, and we'll begin with a fairly simple equation. H2 plus O2 yields H2O, or hydrogen plus oxygen yields water. Hydrogen is represented by H2. The reason is that hydrogen is a diatomic molecule. You don't find hydrogen in nature as a single hydrogen atom. When you find hydrogen, it's bound up into a molecule made up of two hydrogens, hence it's H2. Likewise, oxygen is also a diatomic molecule, therefore it's represented as O2. H2O represents the water molecule. The 2 in the subscript means that there's 2 atoms of hydrogen for each atom of oxygen found in every water molecule. Now we can represent this with another type of model, and let's build one right here. Hydrogen is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen, H2, and that's my diatomic molecule of hydrogen. Oxygen is made up of 2 atoms of oxygen, and that is my diatomic model of oxygen. And water is made of 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. And there we have our model of water. So this is another way of representing these atoms and molecules, and really it can help us visualize balancing of equations. Okay, let's look at the balance. On the left side of the equation, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. On the right side of the equation, we also have 2 atoms of hydrogen. So hydrogen is balanced. What about oxygen? On the left side of the equation, we have 2 atoms of oxygen. On the right side, we only have a single atom of oxygen. So the easiest way to balance this is by putting a coefficient in front of that H2O, and what we'll do is we will put the coefficient of a 2 right here, meaning that we have 2 molecules of water, and we can represent that by putting another model here. Okay, and there are our 2 molecules of water. Now is oxygen balanced? Well, we have 2 oxygen on the right, 2 oxygen on the left. Oxygen is balanced, but when we put that 2 as the coefficient in front of water, we change things with hydrogen. Now we have 4 atoms of hydrogen on the right, only 2 atoms of hydrogen on the left. And to balance it, real simple. All we need to do is to put a 2 in front of the hydrogen, which gets us 2 molecules of hydrogen, and we'll represent that with 2 more of these, and put another molecule in there, just like that. All right, let's see if it's balanced. On the left side of the equation, we have 4 atoms of hydrogen. On the right side of the equation, we have 4 atoms of hydrogen. On the left side of the equation, we have 2 atoms of oxygen. On the right side of the equation, we have 2 atoms of oxygen. The equation is balanced, and that's how easy it is to balance equations.